a shining force in Star Trek stars and Superman's course.
Hey, we have a game lined up here, and it's just something I wanted to throw together for no particular reason. I ripped it off of NPR, where they have this thing, since it's public radio and I'm paying for it anyway, it's not really stealing. They have a thing where you could ask one of 3 questions and you don't know what any of the questions are. You just pick a number and I'll read you that question. However, we have 5 questions, so you get to pick 1 through 5. I wanted to really open this up for you. And the questions are annoying questions to ask English people.
Yes.
So you are making me do this. It's not me asking these questions. It's all on you.
Okay.
You get to pick a number from 1 to 5, and I will read you that question.
4, please.
Number 4. You picked the most serious one. In America, many of us grew up with Monty Python, Hitchhiker's Guide, and The Young Ones. What U.S. shows did English kids grow up with?
Can we pick another one? We kind of already did this with the Nickelodeon shows.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't name them.
Okay.
You know what? You're right. No, pick another one. You get 1 through 5, not 4.
Okay. 2.
2. Who's your favorite QI host? Stephen Fry or Sandy Toxic?
Stephen Fry.
Yes. Right. That's the correct answer. I love her. I do. I really love her. It's impossible to replace him. And
amazing. Yeah.
So I had to. That's it's one of my favorite shows, actually.
It's great. It's so like the amount of knowledge that I've just like gleaned from that show is amazing. A lot of it kind of useless information that nobody really uses in real life, but still it's in my head to use.
Would you say it's hugely popular in England?
Yeah. I think a bit more of like my generation, like, you know, and boomers. I don't think the Gen Zs would. Do they want to learn?
No. Just different things, maybe. To move forward and not look back so much.
Yeah.
I read something interesting about like how they thought about doing an American version and it just would never take off. It's too much knowledge based and too long.
Yeah.
But that's why it appeals to me.
Like an American university challenge would just not. I don't. That ever happen?
We have something similar. It's usually it'll be like a college challenge where it's the most boring thing ever. They get 3 kids from one college, 3 kids from another college, and a host who's just he doesn't want to be there. And it's usually locally based. So it's like, for me, it would be like a college 5 miles that way and a college 10 miles that way.
Oh, I
and
see.
It's aired on Saturday when everybody's between breakfast and lunch. Like it's just not on a channel nobody cares about.
That's fair. Yeah, University Challenge isn't the most exhilarating show, but it definitely has a fan base, especially when it's Cambridge and Oxford up against each other.
I only know that show because of the Young Ones bit that also had Stephen Fry in it.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
So, I grew up loving British comedy, as we called it. Whenever we could get it, and now that we have YouTube, it's just amazing. Oh, I'm going to ask you one of the questions that was in there, just because it's
yeah, this is fun.
Are there more people in England who laugh like Jimmy Carr?
No, not that I know of, anyway.
I just wanted to make sure, like it wasn't like, no, there's a whole town they all laugh like that.
Oh my god, I wish there was. That would be the best town ever. You'd never be able to go in and not laugh. Like that would be.
Or sleep.
That's a short film waiting to happen. I think you should contact him.
A Town of Jimmy Carr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would watch it, actually. I love his laugh. It's what sets him up. I mean, his humor sets him apart, but like the laugh is like, now you know where you're at.
Yeah, I always
wondered the exclamation point.
I always wondered when I was younger whether it was like done as like stand up as a thing, or whether it was his genuine laugh from when he was a kid.
I've heard debates.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really knows. I'm just gonna assume it was was his genuine laugh, and he was probably beaten up a lot. It's what
And he corrected it, but now he uses it to make people look at it.
Yeah.
Turn a negative into a positive, like a tattoo of a knife.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You British people amaze me every time. Thank you for playing. Yes,
no problem. That was fun.
Yeah, thanks. It was my first time doing something like that. I think I'm gonna just make me ask some horrible questions moving forward. We're gonna move on to the better questions, I hope. You've played a lot of roles, a lot of good characters, bad characters. What character would you most like to meet?
Oh, that's a fun one. Probably Jane from The Flash.
Okay, why?
Well, because it would be my ultimate challenge to get her to the pub and get her to laugh and have a good time.
Okay, fair.
Because
Just
she's
the challenge of doing it.
Very socially awkward, very much like, no, I don't have fun. I take a calculus textbook to bed with me. So I would like to take her out on the town. That would be my choice.
Get her all drunked up.
Yeah. Get us to the pub.
What's the I gotta, speaking of pub sort of stuff, what is when we build out your Wikipedia page, what is the craziest fact? Because this is on the internet now and somebody's gonna take our transcript. What's the craziest fact about yourself that you are willing to share with us right now that will be something wild on your Wikipedia page?
Whew.
Pranks you did, crimes you were involved with.
When I was younger, I was a bit of I wanted to be a skater. I couldn't really skate. I wasn't very good at it, but I was a skater girl. And one of the brands was called Girl, and it's a symbol of like a woman's toilet sign. So from the ages of about probably 15 to 19, maybe even, I had a little habit of stealing ladies' toilet signs from places, and my wall in my room was full of them. And so much so that I carried a little screwdriver kit around with me so I could take them off the walls.
I love it. That's, that fits with the teenage mentality and liking a symbol or something. But it doesn't fit with what I thought I learned about your mom. How did you have these up in your room and survive?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it was one of the few things that she looked the other way on. Because, yeah, I mean, I would never take one that was like Braille or disabled. So that's okay, right? That's better.
I mean, yeah, you looked out for other people in need. Positive, all positives there.
Yeah. But yeah, well, my dad, bless him. Sometimes my dad and I would get a little tiddly at a restaurant with my mum. Actually, one time she did get really, really upset with us because my dad was trying to help me take one of the toilet signs. And we were like really struggling to get it off. And then we got it off and it flew across the restaurant. And my mum could see it because we were kind of down a corridor. And my mum could see it, and I was like, oh no. And then I kind of walked back and like picked it up slowly. And she was just like, we will talk about this when we get home, to both me and my dad.
I can't imagine the discussion you had. Do you walk around now and see toilet signs and just like consider it like, oh, that's a really good one?
Maybe.
I mean, you don't do it, obviously. That's
no.
Think about it. Like,
touch my walls. I don't have any anymore.
But if I were going to break the law tonight, that would be the sign.
I do sometimes see one and think, oh, that would have made a good one in my collection. But no. I can't believe
what happened to the collection.
Did you just a thief when I was a kid?
You weren't stealing for profit, or like you just liked something and it's hard to buy them as a kid. Where you buy, especially early internet, where do you buy women's toilet signs?
Yeah, it was also very much the time of Jackass, and they were doing whatever they wanted.
Oh, you had to, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm just like them.
I'm really glad Jackass didn't exist when I was a kid. I would probably be dead because we were already doing very horrible stuff similar to that, but we didn't have a video camera and then try to one-up each other.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. And Steve-O just one-upping everyone all the time. And then, yeah, it was, yeah.
I liked the last one because you could see how old they were. Like we can't, this is it. I don't mean that in a negative way, but I'm glad they aged a little. Because I can't do it anymore.
Too old for this game now.
Right?
Yeah.
We had a great run, and now bones heal slower. And your both of your parents sound like they need shout outs. For your dad sounds like he's always a fun ally against your mom almost. But who else in your life would you want to give a shout out to who's been important to you and who made you believe that you can get out there and actually do this? amazing teachers. Usually, I just like who really like, yeah, I can do this. I'm going to do it.
I think when I was I'm trying to think, it definitely wasn't university, really.
It's fine.
But I think
Yeah.
definitely my parents. And when I was in college, my instructors in college were really on board with the idea of it, and I was doing performing arts already, and double performing arts and media studies. So everything I was doing was, performing related, because that's all I'd ever wanted to do. So I also feel like I didn't ever really need anyone to like bolster and tell me that I can, because I just never ever thought that I could do anything else. I remember when I was like 13 and
You're killing me. This is amazing.
my mom was telling me that you're not going to be able to make much money, and I was like not necessarily, and I was like, yeah, I know, but I'd rather live in a cardboard box on the street than do anything else.
That's how I know that I am lucky to interview you now before you're way too big to ever consider doing this show. That drive, that is singular. You're like, I've never had an answer like that, and I love it. You believed in yourself the whole time. Even when other people did, you were still like believing this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I've never ever thought of doing anything else. And when I was young, I was like, maybe I could be like a lawyer, and then I was like, or maybe I could just play a lawyer. So I just never wanted to do anything else. And I think like I was also very lucky to have supportive parents, because I think that also would be very different, because then maybe I would start questioning and judging myself for a choice that I was making if I didn't have such supportive parents.
If they don't think I can do it, but
right. Yeah. But my mom always did, which is really nice, and still does.
I have to do one other shout out, because I heard another interview with you where like you have a very important person in your life who is your computer nerd. And as a computer nerd, I just had to call out your brother, because us computer nerds never get shout outs.
Yes. Yeah. He was when I was doing performing, he was the Mozart of computers, taking them apart when he was 8 years old, putting them back together. He's sponsored all the way through university by a big computer company and took over their network as soon as he came out. So yeah, he's always been doing that. He lives in Australia now and is doing a lot of computer related stuff for the Victoria government. So
wow.
He's doing all that stuff. So but both of us from
left the country. What's bad about England? Why'd you have to? No, I'm kidding.
I know, it's funny. He went traveling around the world, got to Australia, and never left. He just fell in love with the country. I love England, and I do consider the idea of moving back often, especially as my mum is getting older, and she's also considering the idea of retiring out here as well. So I think just as a twosome, we have to decide what we want the future to hold. But if I can start acting again in London at the same time, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of.
I wish you guys the best, and maybe do both. Move each place for 2 years and see what happens.
Yeah, that would be good.
I just want to say my roots, England, Ireland, Scotland, and we came here via Australia. So this all ties in with my history.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what that means. Like we went to Australia and then we ended up here. I think we got kicked off 2 islands.
Right. Yes.
It's always fun to I want to go to both. Australia, England, that's very soon. Australia, that's one of those things for me. If I'm going, especially from North America, I have to go for 2 weeks just to justify that plane flight.
Definitely, yes. And also, if you get bitten by any of the crazy, terrifying creatures that are there, you need at least a week in hospital to recover. So
the murder bugs,
exactly.
Drop bears, all the fun.
My brother went from Thailand. He went on holiday to Thailand and came back to Australia, opened his suitcase, and there was a poisonous toad inside his shoe, alive, that had made the journey from Thailand to Australia. And Australia.
That's what they need, another poisonous thing.
Well, exactly. Australia was like, no, we're going to come and deal with this right now. Don't touch it.
I always feel in North America, like when they landed here, they had to be like nothing except like bears. Very few animals wanted to kill them, and then going to Australia is like, oh, everything will kill us here.
Everything's either super cute and cuddly or deadly. There's nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super. No, it's going to kill you now. Or sometimes it's like koalas. I hear aren't great to hug either.
Well, they have chlamydia, so it's not great.
Well, who did that? Who gave that to them?
I hear.
I want to get out of here and thank you for your time with us. You've been amazing. I had a blast. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. It was really fun. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks. I think we have one last question. It's not a twist or anything.
Koala bears and chlamydia. How? Let's go. Oh wait. No,
all right, let's get out. Let's end on chlamydia. Let's get out of here. Josh, play us out. We're gonna do it. We're gonna end on chlamydia.
Oh my god.
Do it.
Natalie Moon, a shining force in Star